Read, 8 minutes. 26th of July 2021. Episode 2. Weather, freezing and a storm is approaching. Summary, leaving the fort heading north, the crew continued their journey up the Ulagarant range. Being a somewhat full party now, creatures of the forest kept their distance from the party. Kurila Fortliantiana, the royal guard still accompanying them, reluctantly held back from combat to protect their supplies. The fortune teller/navigator informed the party that the road forward is very dangerous and suggested the crew go westward across the mountain range. Upon realizing the party wasn't paying much attention to her, the fortune teller attempted to make an escape back to the fort. Nestar, the half-elf wizard, stopped the frightened fortune teller as she made her sneaky snake escape back to the fort. Showing no signs of forcing her to stay, she ultimately retreated and was wished a safe journey home. Time Zone, the gnome wizard, spotted a colibri on a nearby tree and used his forest gnome racial ability Speak with Animals. The colibri informed Time Zone, which he then transcribed the conversation to the crew, about the creatures of the forest, its dangers, and inhabitants. J. Bandy, the warp-orged barbarian, offered the colibri some food as a symbol of no ill will. Being a bird with the intelligence of a doormat, the colibri accepted the offering. The colibri is now a companion to Time Zone. The charm of the crew showed once again as more joined the caravan towards solving the mysterious Vahslo crystal malfunction. The other colibris of the thickets enjoyed the new spectacle of the crew as they marched westward. The colibri led the crew to an old hag of the forest. Soon after making a home in the woods, the old hag became aware of the local ruins being exploited by Janos Tourism as a vacation/wildlife sanctuary destination vs the real origins of the location, which is a ritual grounds of prehistory. She also informed the crew that the ruins were protected by robed powerful Kenku and many guardians. The old hag was dying of a common cold, yet at her age she accepted her fate being so lonely up on the Ulagarant range. She requested Tom the Bard to play a song her father once played for her. Tom played a newer version of the Bard's song which delighted the hag as she shut her eyes for the last night, dying with a smile on her face. Kurila, realizing the hag was dead, began to prepare the body for a warrior's send-off by wrapping her in fine buffalo hide and gently placing her in the fire as traditional. The hag caused the fire to starburst upwards. At first the flame was a greenish color. Intensifying and swirling toward the heavens, the green poofed into a purple smoke, dampening the campfire into bomb ash. Around the same time, Kurila took a flask sample of the bomb ash and a nearby forest golem appeared to attempt to understand the recent calamity. Noticing the crew was in the company of a colibri, the forest golem welcomed the crew with a simple greeting. The forest golem used as much common language as it knew to convey the message that the crew was in no danger of the inhabitants and to continue forward. As swiftly as the forest golem appeared, it disappeared into the thickets, blending in perfectly like camouflage. Let's hope their intentions are welcomed with more good fortune. Upon arriving at the next area, Time Zone did a perception check to determine what was in store for them and noticed a pack of wolves scavenging a nearby encampment. The little gnome went forward alone to attempt to speak to the wolves. Circling the gnome and preparing to carry him away into the thickets, a nearby buffalo came stomping in like the Kool-Aid man busting through a wall, scaring off the wolves. The crew took this opportunity to go over tactics at the new camp. Noticing enemies off in the distance, Nestar's fat-bottomed chocobo Quid flew up a snowy ledge to spectate. Transcribing to the crew, Quid noticed a group of orcs and trolls harassing a guardian beast. The guardian beast did not appear in immediate danger until the orcs began to surround and challenge it to melee combat. The guardian beast, simply praying at a statue, became pissed at the assailants and tore off one of the arms of the two trolls in the attack to attempt to scare them off. The crew decided it was time to participate and aid the guardian beast. Roll initiative. J-Bandy did a breath attack attempting to hit both orcs in front of him, but only one was afflicted. The breath attack consisted of bits and pieces of shrapnel metal. There was now a comfortable safe distance between the guardians/enemies, yet one troll remained nearby. Tom the Bard kept one of the trolls occupied with silly jokes which were extremely funny according to the troll rolling on the floor laughing. Tom also finished off one of the orcs with a pressed sword to the chest. J-Bandy also crit killed one of the orcs. Combat did not last long since one of the orcs fled the battle, yet the two trolls remained. The guardian beast made quick work of the now one-armed troll by removing the other arm and squeezing the life out of the skull of the disarmed troll. During the course of the battle, Nestar fell to 0 hit points, forcing the crew to adjust positioning. Time Zone took this opportunity to administer a potion to Nestar, bringing him back to half hit points, whom was on track to getting up after having 2 successful death saves. Combat was now over and the crew slowly approached the guardian beast with much trepidation. Time Zone's Colibri fly onto the top of the relic and entered a trance. Time Zone himself approached the guardian and began to hear mumbling inside his head with faint black and white inversion all around except toward the ruins to the west, which was illuminated through the terrain. Nestar the half-elf wizard went forward standing next to the guardian, and the rest of the crew followed. Eyes now closed and connected with the relic. Enter mental imagery. The crew saw a tribal society sealing off massive dragons with powerful magical seals into a stasis. Through 20,000 years of conflict, the tribal folk managed to seal off 12 dragons at the cost of their civilization nearly being wiped out by their rivals. Assuming the worst, the remaining tribal folk brought in the Kenku to protect the sealed beasts from being unearthed by their oppressors. The vision began to appear more modern in their minds and saw the early guardians whom took the opportunity to protect its new fellow worshippers of the Kuul. The Kuul were a long-extinct race who sealed off many of the forces preventing life from flourishing in the land of Vanadile. Now, the only way to channel these memories was through the help of guardians, because they are hybrids of a beast and a Kuul. This hybrids, or guardian beast, is now the only way for the Neo-Kuul Kenku to communicate and remember the history of its origins. And mental imagery. Perhaps it was luck which allowed the crew to see the vision, or perhaps they were willing enough and open enough to help a cause they know nothing about. Regardless, the Guardian noticed a storm was coming and decided to showcase its own magical protection from the elements. It placed Time Zone's Colibri next to a black sphere on top of a pillar, which created an invisible barrier 35 feet in diameter. The crew is now safe and able to rest as the Guardian went outside to continue to channel with the relic. Will the crew make it to level 2 next session, or will they blunder and owe a debt with their lives? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.